Sound effects can make a game a lot more fun. So let's add sound effects to our game. The one problem with sound effects in JavaScript is that you have all these different browsers and you have all these different types of systems like Mac or PC or Linux. And then even if you know you're using a PC and you know you're using Internet Explorer, there are different versions of those browsers. And all these different combinations support sound differently. Different ways to have sound. So it's really a pain. What we're going to do is we're going to use a library. And we're going to use the Howler JavaScript library to play sound. And Howler is just some code that somebody else made that figures out all those issues with all the different browsers. So all you have to worry about is playing your one sound. So let's go over to the Howler website. We're going to start a new tab, and I'm going to type in the address bar howler.js.com. There we go. It's going to take us to this page, Modern Web Audio JavaScript Library. So we're just going to click on this download source code because we want to download it so we can use it in our web page. This is its GitHub page. It's all kinds of interesting things we're going to go over in the future here, but the only thing we care about right now is this howler.min.js. This is the actual library we're going to use in our code. So we're going to click on it. And it'll display all the source code that this guy wrote, or maybe a bunch of guys. Well, we don't want to just see it. We want to download it. How we download it is we go over to this raw button because we want the raw code. We want the raw file. And we're going to right click. Now, like before with the image, we could just copy the link address and then use that link in our code, in our JavaScript code, and then we don't even have to download it. But it's not the nicest way to play on the web. So instead, we're going to save this link. Okay, so we're already in our guess the number folder. Great. So let's just save it as howler.min, and it'll automatically make it a JavaScript file. And you can see over here in our guess the number folder, we have our howler.min.js. Great. Now it's time to load that script, that library, in our HTML. And we're going to do that right before our other script tag. So again, this is script, but this time we're not going to put code in between the two tags. Instead, we're going to add an attribute. And we're going to say source, or src, is equal to this howler.min. And as we're typing it, WebStorm knows we have a JavaScript file in the local directory here, so it just helps us type it. We can just press tab, and there we go. Now you may notice that there's a script start tag and there's a script end tag. Well, why do we have a start and an end tag when there's never going to be anything in the middle? Why can't we just do something like this, right? This means that there is no end tag, it's just one tag. This will not work in some browsers, as WebStorm correctly points out here. So even though there's nothing in between, you still want to have a start tag and an end tag for the script. Great. We've loaded the Howler JavaScript library. Now it's time to actually play a sound. So there's two steps to that. First step is, before we enter our function guess, we're going to actually load up the sound. And so we're going to say var some sound, it's called sound, equals new howl. You see, as I'm typing it, Google Chrome is updating. So we're going to say new howl, and then we're going to enter a curly brace because we're going to have some name value pairs. And the first thing is the URLs. So the URLs that we want is actually going to be an array. So we're just going to put this inside square brackets. And I happen to know a URL of a sound. We're next going to create our own sound effects, but for now, for just a test, I'm gonna put in the sound URL that I already know, and that is http://sounds.ucode.com/assets. Assets are sounds, videos, images, any object that you want in a game, and then meow.wave. So that's a wave file. So this will actually load up a wave file of a cat meowing. And then we're going to put a comment here because we want one more name value pair. And this one is buffer true. And what that means is it's going to load it first so that it's very easy to play it. We actually don't always need that for Howl, but we do need it if we're developing on our own machine here. And I'll explain why later. Just for now, put buffer true. And we actually have to end this with a semicolon. Great, we've loaded the sound. So let's cancel this over here, and you'll notice everything still kind of works. We don't have the sound yet, though, because we haven't played the sound. Let's play the sound when you take a guess. That seems like a fun time to play some noise. So right in the beginning of this guess method, let's type in sound.play. Easy enough. Let's try it. I'm going to click take a guess. Nice.